Today I thought I'd talk about everyday carry. A lot of other people have posted videos on what they carry every day, and it's kind of the fashionable thing, but I thought maybe I'd post a video on what I carry every day. So we'll start off with the basics. Every day I carry a flash drive. Flash drive's got several documents that I think of as being fairly important. Also, I have copies of things like my driver's license and other identification on it. Not that it's valid, but at least it's something that I've got. I also have things like copies of my insurance and that sort of thing. And it's encrypted. So as long as, this is kind of the one flaw in the idea, as long as I'm conscious and able to give the information to decrypt it, it's always going to be there. So the next thing, which is kind of two things in one, I always carry a Write in the Rain notebook, and in case I need to make notes, which I frequently do. And with that in mind, I always carry a small Fisher space pen that will write essentially anywhere. I also carry chapstick, and Blistex actually, but kind of generic term, chapstick. But I always carry this. I find it to be very useful. Many times it's kind of, I guess for lack of a better way of saying it, saved my butt. It's kind of one of those comfort issues. I also always carry a lighter, usually a disposable. Occasionally I will carry a Zippo, but for the most part I carry a disposable lighter. I also carry a knife. I've had this old Gerber for about as long as I can remember, and it served me well. And a good friend of mine was kind enough to really sharpen it up, and he did a really good job. And if you're not careful, you can cut yourself very easily with this now. It's sharper than it's ever been. I also always carry Streamlight. This happens to be a Stylus Pro. I can't tell you how many times, almost every day, I use this. Many days I use it multiple times a day. Not always, not every day, but almost every day. And when I do, it seems like, again, that I'll use it multiple times that day. Also, I always carry, obviously, car keys. You're thinking, well, kind of why is that a big deal? I always carry a set on me, and I also have another set that I can use to drive my vehicle anytime I need to. That way I can hand out a set to a second person if I need to, but I've always got two sets available to me for my vehicle at all times. I also carry not only my regular glasses that I usually have on, but I always carry my sunglasses with me. In fact, I'm more often in these than I am in my regular glasses, oftentimes. Kind of a new addition to the everyday carry is cell phone. For a long time I didn't carry one. I didn't really use it. I've started to. I kind of see the utility in it. This to me is not a must-have. It's a nice-to-have. It's not a must-have, but I do find it to be useful. Something else that I carry are two plain cotton handkerchiefs. One for blowing, and the other one, for the most part, for anything else. I've used this to apply direct pressure on open wounds. They're both clean. If I use one of them for blowing, it goes in a completely separate pocket. That way I've always got one clean handkerchief to use for emergencies. And I mean, you can use one of these for a lot of different things. And kind of the ubiquitous thing that usually ends up in most of these videos is obviously firearms. I carry every day. I don't always carry this. There are times when I carry a different full-size gun, but I usually carry every place that I'm legally able to. I mean, it's very rare for me to leave home without a firearm. More recently, I've discovered that this is actually much more convenient to carry. Yes, it's a 380. Yes, it doesn't have the same power as a 9mm, but it's much more convenient, and it's better to have this than nothing. And I don't know how most people are, but I think a lot of people think of this as sometimes a burden or a pain. They don't necessarily carry it with them all the time. So I think sometimes that some people would be better served to get something smaller, lighter, more compact, something that they will keep on them all the time. If I carry this, I usually carry this in a fanny pack. In cold weather, when I always got a big coat on, I will carry this in a hip holster on the strong side. This I normally carry in a very inexpensive holster that goes in my front pocket. I should also explain that this goes on the strong side, and everything that I carry in my system has a place. Like I said, if I carry a full-size gun, it goes in a fanny pack. This goes in the pencil pocket on my carpenter's jeans. I pretty much wear carpenter's jeans daily. This goes there. The lighter, the thumb drive, the Blistex, and the space pen, as well as the memo book, all go in my left front pocket so that I know where they are all the time. They're always available to me that way. Clipped just inside my left front pocket are also these two items. If I go to a place like my place of work, I have to leave my gun in the car. I also have to leave my pocket knife in the car. It's just a rule. I also happen to have to leave the cell phone in the vehicle as well. It's just a rule of where I work. They're not allowed. It's just something I have to deal with. They're never more than 100 yards away from me, so I can get back to my vehicle fairly quickly, retrieve them, move on if I needed to. But other than that, that's where these also reside. This goes with me even into work. I've used it a lot even in my work. The keys go with me. The sunglasses go with me in a case. And these are always in my back pocket. Like I said, unless I use one of them, and then I switch pockets with it so that I can keep one of them from being contaminated. So I've always got a clean one. So that's sort of my system, kind of how I carry it, where I carry it. The reason for carrying it is, for a lot of these things, it's just convenience. It's something, like I said, things I've found that I use every day. A light. I'm not a smoker, but you'd be surprised how often I end up loaning that thing out. The thumb drive, I also carry some work-related things on it. The notepad I use all the time. The Blistex I use all the time. But a lot of it's just for convenience. The phone is starting to kind of be a convenience, but like I said, it's not really a necessity. So that's my everyday carry. If you've got any thoughts, if you'd like to make any comments, I encourage you to do so. If you can, please give me a thumbs up if you like the video. If not, tell me what you think I'm doing wrong. Not a problem. I always encourage constructive criticism. So I'd like to thank you for tuning into my video, and again, if you can, give me a thumbs up and comment. So I'd like to say thank you and have a good day.